The Baxter Center for Science Education is a program that builds impactful student experiences and teacher professional development programs to promote student success in STEM education. Their vision revolves around fostering tomorrow's innovations by developing the next generation of scientists and engineers.
Working with the Baxter Center has been really transformative for me. It has given me the opportunity to interact with high school students and teachers and to help translate what I'm doing in the lab outside of the lab.
When people ask me about Lynn Bloom, their first question is always, where is that school? And I love saying Inglewood. People have been getting more exposure to the Lynn Bloom math and science community, and there's a rich history here.
This year, the Baxter Center for Science Education program is celebrating the 10th anniversary of its partnership between Baxter Northwestern University and Lynn Bloom Math and Science Academy. 10 years of partnering an innovative healthcare company and a cutting-edge Research One institution with Lynn Bloom Math and Science Academy. 10 years of diverse learning environments, 10 years of promoting equity in science education. And it all started in a classroom on the south side of Chicago.
The Baxter Center came to Lynn Bloom really because of something that the Chicago Public Schools used to do and I think are bringing back, called Principal for a Day.
The CEO of Baxter at the time visited Lynn Bloom and was really inspired by a teacher there who was teaching biotechnology to high school students.
Hortense Bryce.
Hortense Bryce.
Miss Hortense Bryce.
Hortense Bryce.
The wonderful Ms. Bryce.
Ms. Bryce was special.
Ms. Bryce is legendary.
I taught science 40 years, and early on I realized that I needed to bring up-to-date technology and ideas in science to my students to keep them interested. You learn science by doing science, and I felt I can offer this to my students too.
The employees from Baxter walked in to Hortense's class and then walked back out and said, we know now how we want to be involved in the Chicago Public Schools. It is through biotech.
She took us out of the traditional classroom setting. She gave us the opportunity to get our hands dirty with science equipment that a lot of inner city kids didn't get access to.
In those years, it expanded from just focusing on biotech to the larger STEM fields of how do we make sure that teachers have the supports and the knowledge and the resources to make sure that students have the best science education possible.
They saw what we were doing here in the school, saw a need where we could partner together, and it just took off.
And that is how the Baxter Box Program was created, a science lending library that combines high-level equipment and a focused curriculum for local teachers.
For the droppers going down for those activities, you want to look at the angle because as you release it, you can see if it's filling in properly.
A teacher comes to a workshop that's totally free, and then they gain access to the Baxter Box loaning program. We have a lending library that's full of all of the equipment you need to do things like DNA analysis, forensic analysis in the classroom.
They show up with the equipment and with the knowledge. If you need the guidance in pouring plates, casting gels, setting up how you're going to explain things to students, they're there, right there.
The Baxter Center for Science Education then created a research experience for teachers. This 2-week summer workshop at Northwestern University was created to give Chicago area teachers a real hands-on experience in a lab. The skills learned by teachers in this workshop are then brought back to their students for the upcoming school year.
I'm an older teacher, and none of these things were invented when I was in school. Someone who didn't have the skills or background now all of a sudden has the skills and background. Without them, I'd be light years behind.
Being able to interact with the teachers and students, it definitely re-sparks an excitement for the science and the fundamental discoveries that we make and the techniques that we do. They get really excited about it, which makes me excited, and it reminds me how much I love what I do.
The ability for students to be introduced to this in high school, I think it gives them a view of actual things they're going to use, and they love it. Like, you put a micropipetter in their hands for the first time and they're just like, oh my God, I feel so sciencey, you know? They're like really into it, and it's just, it's like, it seems silly, but even when you're doing something little like that, it's exciting.
Those students that you're helping enrich them in STEM, that's a direct link to that company in the future for those individuals.
The Baxter Center for Science Education has been a model for a lot of the corporate, university, and school partnerships that we have through the School of Education and Social Policy, particularly the Office of Community Education Partnerships. We've been able to really see what it means to really partner. And that is not just have a funding relationship, but a thinking relationship, a planning relationship across schools, university, and industry.
No one knew what it meant to start a math and science academy because there hadn't been one in Chicago. And so we said, we're going to provide outstanding opportunities that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
But the biggest impact that I've heard from both the professors, from the teachers, and from my own students is that it prepares them to think critically, to work hard, to attend to a task that may be novel and challenging, and of course, to be engaged in the world of science in a way that perhaps they had never experienced before.
The expansion didn't stop at Lindblom Math and Science Academy. In 2017, the Baxter Center for Science Education added a new partner to the program, Round Lake High School.
The impact of the Baxter Center on the Chicago community and now our Round Lake community is really helping to think about how you can bring real-world scientific expertise, learning, and practice into classrooms. One of the things that we're really trying to do is to think about how we can be a really strong education partner in our community. And when we can work with companies like Baxter, school districts like Chicago Public Schools, we're really able to leverage the expertise of all of these partners and really focus on improving teaching and learning and well-being throughout the community.
It thrills me that the program is moving ahead, and it is not just moving forward, it's getting better.
So as I think about how we've made a meaningful impact in our community, I particularly reflect on our 10-year partnership with Northwestern University, the Lindblom Math and Science Academy, and now the addition of the Round Lake High School. I think that we've made a particularly important commitment in fostering tomorrow's innovation.
To see this sort of level of expansion and accessibility for all teachers, for all students, for all levels, that is truly the miracle of the Baxter program.